Hi everyone, it's Latin Roses. Today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious turkey, simplified. If this is your first time making a turkey, no worries, I'll walk you through it. Not only will your turkey look amazing, it'll be delicious too. So you want to see how to do this? Stay tuned and I'll show you how next. So if you guys ever watch the Daily Wishes channel on YouTube with Chef John, you should check it out. It's a really good channel. He's a really good cook and he taught me a few tricks. So the first thing I like to use, thanks to Chef John, is an actual baking dish, a roasting pan. I use a glass one and I cover it with foil for easier cleaning. You can use one of these thick foils that you find from the grocery store. This is a good way to serve a turkey, especially cook a turkey if it's a large one, like a 15-pounder. But if you're cooking a smaller turkey like I am today, this is the best choice. It's sturdy, it's not flimsy, and it will really hold your turkey well. So the first thing we're going to do to prepare our turkey is we want to actually have all the drippings form a really good tasting gravy later on. And how you do that is, another Chef John tip, is you cut up some carrot, celery, and onion, and you pour it all in the bottom of your tray, of your roasting pan, and you spread it all out. And then you're going to put your turkey on top of it. Okay, so if you're really a beginner, you might want to get a turkey like a Jenny O turkey. It already has this pop-up little plastic button that tells you when the turkey's ready. However, I wouldn't trust that. I would actually use a food thermometer. But a lot of the turkey companies now will have these bags that you pull out of the cavity that contain the giblets, and you just put that aside and you can use that in your gravy or your stuffing. And then you just pull out the neck. You want that out of there. And then I usually use a knife and cut off the end of it, the back end of the turkey, which is just a lot of fat in it. So this is what your turkey is, and you're going to pat it dry because we rinsed it off already. And then I'm going to show you, you pat it dry with some paper towels, and I already did that earlier. But what we're going to do now is just rub it, and here's a mixture of salt and pepper. And you're just literally going to rub your turkey with salt and pepper, right? Just all over. Easy, easy. Get into the crevices. Get into the cavities. Now, what a lot of people show you how to do is take the turkey and use butcher twine or dental floss and actually tie the legs together. But Jenny O said you can use the plastic that comes with it and just use that. And that's what I'm going to use because that's simply for me, because I usually don't have butcher twine lying around. But what another Chef John tip is, take these wings so that they don't burn while they're cooking, is you fold it in. You fold it under. It makes your bird sit flatter. And then you don't burn tipped at the wings. Okay. Now, you could stop there, literally, and simplify your life. You could stop there, just keep seasoning it really well. Put it in the oven for at 325 for about 3.5 hours until it's ready, and you can really stop there. But I like, and that is simplified, I really like to add more of a gravy marinade that I adopted from Christina Ferrari, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You could stop here now, but I'm going to show you how to make this marinade, and it's really not that difficult. But if you're nervous about doing too much for your first turkey, you can stop here, and then you can just take it up from after I make my marinade. You can just take it up from there in the oven, and I'll show you how. Like I was saying before, if you do not want to make any kind of marinade, you just have to salt and pepper your turkey like I told you, and you can just start baking it, get this, without any foil, not tinted. and you're pretty much ready to go. Oh, you also want to add a little bit of water, a half a cup of water around the bottom of your turkey. But you don't have to do that either, and you can just not even tent it, don't put foil on it, and it'll cook. But I will show you how to do that in a minute. If you want to stick around and learn how to do this amazing, this is the most delicious marinade I've ever had, and this is a recipe by Christina Ferrari. I may leave out a few ingredients because I just found the ones that I really loved. So you can simplify this recipe even more by taking more shortcuts. It calls for fresh squeezed lemon juice. So if you don't have time, you don't have any lemons, you can use regular lemon juice from the bottle. Fresh is always better. 2 cloves of garlic chopped up, but you can just use the ones that are already store-bought cut, however you want to take a shortcut. You can even use the herbs, not fresh, but from the ones that are already in the containers. But I don't have a garden, so I just buy these living herbs in my local supermarket, and I'm going to use thyme, about 3 sprigs of thyme, and sage. Actually, I use a little more because I really love these herbs. Not only are they beautiful, but they smell, the fragrance are amazing, and they just give this marinade a really delicious taste and make the marinade. So fresh is always better, but if you can't do fresh, then there's other hacks to make this simpler and simplified. And if you're like me, you're busy, on the go, I'm a busy working mom, and I have to hack. I have to take shortcuts, but when it comes to my marinade, I love everything as fresh as possible. So I just chop it really tiny. Really tiny. Thyme and the sage, so good. Okay, so what you're going to do next is you're going to have a bowl. I put about a cup of Dijon mustard. Squeeze it all in there, about a cup of Dijon mustard. You're going to pour your fresh herbs in, sage and thyme. You're going to put your 2 cloves chopped or pre-chopped, garlic, a little more if you like it. It's all about what you like to taste. A cup of olive oil. I use extra virgin olive oil. The organic kind, if you can find it, if it's in your budget. And I also use about 3/4 cup of lemon juice, freshly squeezed if you can. Forgot to get a seed out of here. I got most of them out. And the last ingredient that I like to use is half a cup of soy sauce. And half a cup of soy sauce. It might not sound very appealing. This is Christina Ferrari's recipe, a little bit altered. But believe me, this is like one of the best marinades I've ever tasted in my life, and I've tasted quite a few. And it's really simple to make. Like I said, you can simplify it more by not using real lemons and not having to use the real herbs, but real is always more healthier, less preservatives and chemicals added to your food, the better. And you just whisk this around, and we're going to just add this to our turkey. And this also turns into a most delicious gravy at the end, which I'll show you how to do that too. Just keep whisking it for a few minutes. This might be a little more advanced, but really it's not that difficult. I show you, just dump a few things together and mix it together, and you're all good. And you're going to impress your guests for the most delicious, yummy marinade. Okay, so if you're not doing the most simplified, basic way to do it, I do add a little bit of water, like half a cup of water, all around the turkey. Don't be afraid to lift your turkey up. Move it around a little bit. It's okay. Okay, because we're going to tent this, so it's going to be fine. It's going to act like a little steamer. And then what I like to do is I like to take some of the leftover fresh herbs and stick it inside the cavity. That was the thyme and sage. And I like to stick, nothing goes to waste, some of the lemon rinds, the leftover lemon. squeeze pieces and add that in there. Stuff it really good. I have quite a few of these. Okay. And then you can use the butcher's twine to tie your thing, or dental floss, not kidding. Or Jenny O provided this nice little plastic piece that they said is safe, oven safe, so we're going to test that part out today. I'm going to trust Jenny O on that. Seems fine. Okay, so the next thing, we're going to tent this with foil and put this inside a 325 oven. Now, if you're not using the marinade, you will let your turkey cook, set your timer for about 3.5 hours, then you will insert a turkey thermometer. You're not going to trust this little pop-up, and you're going to check to see if the temperature is between 175 and 180. Even 170 can be a safe temperature for your turkey. But since we're going to use this delicious marinade, we're going to marinate our turkey first, and we're going to have to tent it because we have to let it, we don't want the marinade to splash up. Now, normally you would take a basting brush to do this, but look, if you forget to buy your basting brush, like I did, you could just spoon it on, kind of paint your turkey, your hand. You're already familiar, you've really been really friendly with this bird. It's not gonna matter to the bird if you're touching it, it's all right. Just a little bit. We're going to come back and marinate some more. So if you're going to use the marinade method, should get everything. If you're going to use the marinade method, then what you need to do is tent your bird with some foil, and then set your timer for 2.5 hours, and then take the foil off, marinate some more, and then leave your foil off, and then just marinate every 15-20 minutes. So you can see without the marinade, it's more simple, but this is really delicious. So I gave you the two options, and this one isn't too bad either. So I'm just going to foil, and we're going to put it in the oven. So this is a 9-pound bird, or I think it's a 10-pound actually. And you're supposed to cook your bird 15 minutes per pound. I don't go by that. That's too hard. That's why I have a thermometer. About 3.5 hours to 4 hours, your bird will be ready. We'll check it at about, because I marinated mine, we're going to check this bird in about 2.5 hours. Test the temperature at that time, and we're also going to remove the foil and let it cook with the remainder of the time without the foil and keep marinating. Otherwise, you didn't have to marinate, you didn't have to foil, you didn't have to tent, you really didn't have to add the water in the bottom, and you could just put it in the oven for 3.5 hours. So either way, it's going to be good. So we're going to put our turkey in the oven at 325 for 2.5 hours. Set the timer, and then we're going to come back and remove the foil and marinate some more. Okay, so it's been about 2.5 hours, and it's time to remove the foil from this bird. And it already looks and smells amazing. I'm going to take my food thermometer and stick it into, stick it into this, see, here we go. Well, you don't hit a bone, see what the temperature is right now. That's my timer going off. You keep it in there until the thermometer needle stops moving. It's getting there. It's 120 degrees. And take it out for now. I just brought it out basically to remarinate it again. So I'm going to just pour a little more of the marinade over the turkey. Oh, it smells so good. If you weren't using the marinade method, you wouldn't have taken it out yet. You would have let it stay another 1.5 hours. and then you would test the temperature like I showed you. That's the easier method, and you'd be done probably. It would be so easy, but this way is not too much difficult, just a little more slightly advanced, just slightly. Get it coated, and we're gonna go put it back in. What I'm gonna do is, what I decided to do right now, I'm gonna tent it again for an hour, and then I'm gonna remove the foil for the last hour of cooking with the marinade method. So that is what I'm gonna do. Just because I don't want the marinade to splash up in the stove. And we'll put this back in for another hour. I'll pull it out, remove the foil, and then I'll let it cook for the remainder of the time without the foil. It's getting close to 180, and that's about the right temperature. The little plastic thing did pop up saying this is done. It looks beautiful. It's golden brown. I have a lot of juices to make a gravy. This video is running long, so I'm going to show you in my next video how to make a gravy. And you need to let this rest for about 30 to 45 minutes, because if you don't, the juices will run everywhere. And another important reason to let it rest is after you carve your turkey and you need to reheat it for any reason, it'll dry out if you didn't let it rest and let the juices stay in the turkey instead of running everywhere. So that's very important, to let your turkey rest. And I will show you in my next video, if you're interested in how to carve a turkey, I'll show you that in my How to Carve a Turkey Simplified video. Okay, so I'm going to do a little taste test before I actually carve. It still needs to rest, but dipped it in a little bit of marinade, and it is delicious. Another Latin Roses approved recipe. And that, my friends, is how you make a turkey simplified. I hope you like this, and I hope you try it. If you do try it, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, hit like. If you want to stay in touch, subscribe. And as always, I wish you love, peace, and joy.